how can we be effective with our time online on creating content, and how can we increase our return on investment. The Capsho people, they actually just released a clipping feature inside of their software who does probably one of the best copies extract from long form content that I've seen. Put the content out there no matter what, and as you move forward, you're gonna start finding the people that are gonna levitate towards your business, toward your message. You're gonna help them out in exchange of money, and then you can invest in production. Quality of the message over quality of the production. No amount of editing is going to help your clip do better if the message is not the right message. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Content's Profit. If you are somebody that is currently creating content and want more of your time back and create more revenue for your business, this episode specifically for you. I'm going to bring you a little bit behind the scenes on a session that I had earlier with one of our partners. Tomorrow, we're actually doing a workshop with the Capsho people. They actually just released a clipping feature inside of their software who does probably one of the best copies extract from long form content that I've seen across multiple platforms. And we're going to be talking about this clipping feature in then. So I just got like a little behind the scenes on the beta that they're releasing to the public, and it's amazing. And after that, we sat down and we kind of brainstormed for about 20 to 30 minutes on what the angle is, right? And, their specific clientele is people that are doing the content themselves, that resource, that their main resource is their time. They might not have enough money to go and hire an editor or go hire a team, which is, by the way, like the product that we offer. So people that, need more of that time, but they have a little bit more resources or money to invest in their content team. That's where it comes to us. So if that's you, I'm happy to chat. But let's not forget, we started there about 4 years ago when we started producing our own podcast, when we started producing our content, and we started experimenting with things that stick or not stick on, frequency. How often do I publish? How much do I publish? And as we get to do this, we started kind of debriefing on the goal of using this platform, or in general, not just this platform, because this is a tool that's going to save you a ton of time, but on how can we be effective with our time online on creating content, and how can we increase our return on investment, right? So ideally, right, if you are a business, those will be leads or, even reach in other platforms that you might not be present today. So in our case, when we first started Content Momentum and like the way that we produce our podcast and our clips, it was meant for us to be present in multiple platforms. And just yesterday, this was crazy. I was trying to write a case study for our specific podcast in our system. And I never really looked at overall data in our clips, and our podcast clips have reached 500,000 impressions, which is crazy to me. Like, that's insane, and never in our wildest dreams, I think my brain has a very hard time picturing that. And anyways, and those are all also organic. We've honestly never really paid for content exposure, which is, more exciting at all. So anyways, tools like Capsho, for example, are going to help you achieve something like that. But there's a little hump that people need to go over initially, right? So obviously, what we're looking at today is like a new way of publishing. Sometimes it can be in our heads. We think that maybe a team is too expensive. Maybe an editor might be too expensive. Maybe they don't understand the way that we do it, this might be the only option for you to create content today, which is do it yourself, which is totally okay, right? That is part of the journey. So I really want to encourage you to focus on this one thing: quality of the message over quality of the production, right? And as they were showing me the tool kind of gives you a separation of ideas, right? Which what we call is value index for your long form content. So imagine you process this in a software like Descript or Adobe or whatever, right? You get this transcript, and there's going to be one thing that you say that is going to be a value point, right? Like we call them golden boulders, right? And then that alone can serve as a teaser for the podcast, or it can serve as a clip for social media, for Instagram, for TikTok. And then from there, right, you can repurpose it and multi-purpose it in different ways. Now, a lot of people put their faith in editing, in the video editor, in the way that clip looks at the end, right? But let me tell you, we've seen, in every single scenario, no amount of editing is going to help your clip do better if the message is not the right message. So remember, quality of the message over quality of the production. And for those thinking, that's not right, Luis, prove me wrong. I promise you, we have multiple examples that it's just one camera shoot, looking at me or looking at somebody else or looking at the creator talking and sharing stories and doing all this stuff. And you're super engaged, probably more than a highly edited video that has no value whatsoever, right? So that's the first thing that I want to encourage you, because here's what happens. People try to do it themselves, and you try to, clip your own podcast, or you're trying to edit your own thing and you don't like the way it looks, for example, or maybe you're dealing with an editor and you don't like the way that they're editing it. And I think we have to look inside of ourselves and start understanding, is what I'm saying the right thing? Is what I'm saying exciting enough? Is the story that I'm saying relevant enough? Is the value that I'm providing good for the person that I'm talking to online? Is the problem that I'm solving the right problem, for that person? Am I actually solving a problem? So all these questions, I think we have to look inwards and be like, okay, maybe this is some of the things. And then after that, right, as far as like a little framework for production, so maybe, you can go try these 2 hours, just let us know. Consider the time that it's invested in some of this, right? So maybe for research, you have 30 minutes of research for your video. Maybe you create this video as 1 hour conversation or 1 hour, talking to the camera. Now you are at hour and a half, right? And then the production, as you start kind of creating or grabbing those pieces of ideas of the value index, those golden boulders, maybe it takes you 2 hours to process a full episode. And then after those 2 hours, let's say that you want to edit that, add a couple more hours. So now you've invested in, 5 to 6 hours instead of one podcast episode. And because most people don't look how that content looks or don't like how that content looks, they might not even publish it. So what I'm saying is, if you get to that point or you've experienced that pain, because we have, right? Try to remove as much friction as possible and still go ahead and publish it. You can still delete that content, right? If you don't, at the end of it, you don't like it. But if you increase a couple things like consistency and frequency online with your pieces of content, whether that's writing or whether that's a clip of the video that you grab from, Capsho or from Descript or from whatever, platform, then you're going to start getting feedback and you're going to start getting traction and you're going to start answering questions. And you're going to start getting to know the people that are looking at that content, and you're going to get these indicators that then you can create more content from or create opportunities from. So for today, I really want to leave it, just there, because I see a lot of people, this tool specifically is going to help a lot of people get a lot more content down, more volume, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week to put out to get these indicators. But I also see a lot of people that are discouraged because they spend so much time and they don't like the final product. And that's normal. If you've never edited a video before, it might not be the best, right? If you're using one of these platforms, it might not look the best, right? But I highly encourage, if your message is helping somebody, if you're solving a problem for somebody, that is really good for you to start putting that content on there and see what happens, right? So I highly encourage you, look at your message, put the content out there, no matter what. And as you move forward, you're going to start finding the people that are going to levitate towards your business, toward your message. You're going to help them out in exchange of money, and then you can invest in production. So I promise you, on our side, we lost about, 3 years trying to conquer this fear. I don't want you to lose 3 years. So go ahead and put your video out if you haven't done it. And if you have any questions, we're here for you. You can reach out at BizBrosGo on social media. Send me a DM there. You can go to bizbros.co or contentisprofit.com for the show. But anyways, I'm very excited, and you can find me on social media at Luis.creates as well. With that said, thank you so much for tuning to Content is Profit, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.